Lin Tianhao, why don't you take out of the Lin family? Keeping your garbage is simply a face for our family. In the Lin family courtyard, a middle-aged man in a robe looked contemptuous and pointed at Lin Tianhao's nose and was shattered. A group of Lin family members were surrounded by a group of children staring at him with jokes, and a few words of mockery appeared in their mouths from time to time. Just this waste, I have been stuck in the 3 levels of gas for 3 years. I don't even have a low-grade spiritual root. Do you still want to stay in the family and eat white food? I heard that his father was still a genius at that time, but he was born such a thing. Ha, it was such a big joke. Lin Tianhao stood in the middle of the yard, his hands tightly clenched into fists, and his face was blue. He lowered his head, his teeth choked and his heart hurt as if he had been stabbed by a knife. Over the years, he has been so cynical, but he has no choice but to rebel. Because they are talking about facts, he is a waste, and his cultivation is stopped and his spiritual roots are inferior. In this powerful world, he is not worthy of being called the Lin family at all. Long old Lin, please give me another chance. I will definitely prove myself. Lin Tianhao raised his head, and there was a trembling sound in his voice. He almost used all his strength to express this sentence. But only one slap in the face was greeted. Bang! Chang Laolin slapped Lin Tianhao and then stepped back, and a silk of blood came out of the corner of his mouth. Certificate? Just beg you this waste? Stop dreaming. The Lin family doesn't care about waste, so I will bring me into the family today. From now on, you will have no relationship with the Lin family anymore. Chang Laolin snorted coldly, shook his sleeves and turned around, leaving without looking back. The Lin family members around the country laughed even more violently, and some even spitted at Lin Tianhao. Come on, waste, don't be here to lose people. Ha, I might die outside in a few days. No one in the fairy world will care about the life or death of a wolf. Lin Tianhao gritted his teeth, silently packed up his broken parcel, and dragged away from the Lin family compound with heavy steps. From this moment on, he finally became a homeless ghost. The vast land of the fairy world is vast and unobstructed, with fairy gates standing in a row, and the strongest ones are like clouds. The rules here are simple and cool, the strong are respectful, and the weak are like silly. A wastewood like Lin Tianhao who was swept out by his family had no qualifications to survive. Without resources and no backing, you may be slapped to death by a passing immortal cultivator at any time, or swallowed into your stomach by a demon. He walked around without destination, and his brain formed a group. It's not that he has not worked hard for the past few years, but no matter how he cultivates his body, the spirit in his dantian is like a pool of stagnant water, and has not made any progress. Why? Why did God want this to him? Hey, waste, stop. Suddenly, a sharp sound came from behind. Lin Tianhao looked back and it was even more difficult to see his face. It was several of the Lin family's favorite little guys to bully him the most. The one who was wearing the head was named Lin Hu. He practiced 5 levels of energy. Relying on his little strength, he often used Lin Tianhao to exhale. Lin Hu, what do you want to fuck? I'm no longer a member of the Lin family, don't be bothered by me. Lin Tianhao's voice was low and he clenched his fists. Yeah, how dare you talk to the waste? Lin Hu grinned and walked over with several followers, feeling unhappy. I'm in a bad mood today. I'm excited when I see you. Why can't I beat you up? Speaking, he waved his hand and several people stood up behind him, blocking Lin Tianhao in an alley. Brothers, beat me. Let this waste know, and after leaving the Lin family, he is not as good as a dog. Lin Hu said an order, several people rushed up, and their fists hit Lin Tianhao like rain. Bang! Bang! Lin Tianhao was not a match at all, so he could only hold his head and get beaten. He soon became blue and purple, and blood from the corners of his mouth was flowing more and more. He was full of reluctance, but what could he do? The 3-level cultivation level of the spirit is a joke in front of these people. Ha, waste is waste. It's like a sandbag when you hit it, and it doesn't even have the strength of your hands. Lin, who laughed, kicked Lin Tianhao again and kicked him to the ground. At this moment, a deep sound of silence suddenly came from the sky. Lin Tianhao raised his head in a difficult situation and found that the sky had become extremely dark at some point, with clouds densely covered, and lightning flashing, as if it was about to swallow the entire world. Is this the thunder of heavenly tribulation? Lin Hu's face changed, and there was a flash of shock in his eyes. In the vast land of the fairy world, the heavenly tribulation thunder is the nightmare of immortal cultivators. Whenever someone breaks through the great realm or touches the heavenly way, it will lead to thunder and punishment. 99% of all immortal cultivators are flying under the thunder. No one who can survive is a heaven-deficient existence. Run! This place is not safe, don't be affected by thunder. Lin Hu shouted, and wanted to escape with a few followers. No, this waste is going to be finished. Lin Hu stopped walking, turned around and couldn't help laughing. Ha, waste is waste, even God can't stand it, I want to accept you. Lin Tianhao looked at the lightning, and his heart was filled with hope. He knew that he could not hide, and he couldn't bear it. This time, he was probably really dead. Still. The lightning hit Lin Tianhao hard, and a dazzling light burst out in an instant. Lin Hu and a few people subconsciously closed their eyes and waited to see Lin Tianhao turning into ashes. But when the light dissipated, they were stunned. Lin Tianhao was still standing there. Not only was he not chopped into coke, but he was emitting a faint light of lightning all over his body. His eyes became unusually bright, and a strange smile even appeared on the corner of his mouth. Why doesn't this waste die? Lin Hu rubbed his eyes, his face full of disbelief. Lin Tianhao looked down at his hands, feeling the unprecedented power in his body, and was ecstatic. He finally understood that this thunder did not kill him, but instead made him feel awakened to a certain special body. Ha ha! It turns out that I am a naturally born child. This thunderclap is not here to kill me, but to help me. Lin Tianhao couldn't help laughing, his voice full of arrogance. Just as the lightning struck him, there was a piece of information suddenly in his brain. He is a son of natural aura, with a unique and defiant body in all kinds of things. He can absorb the power of the thunder of heavenly tribulation and transform it into his own cultivation. At this moment, the spirit in his dantian was in a state of turbulence. The cultivation of the 3 levels of turbulence was broken through in an instant, and it directly reached the 5 levels of turbulence. Waste, what are you laughing at? Make a ghost. Lin Hu saw that Lin Tianhao was not dead and was still there. He was angry at the moment and wanted to punch him again after he came. But this time, Lin Tianhao did not retreat. He suddenly raised his head, and a lightning flashed through his eyes. With a single hand, a thunder power exploded from his palm, hitting Lin Hu's chest hard. Bang! Lin Hu was flying out and smashed into the stone wall at the entrance of the alley, spitting out a large mouthful of blood, looking at Lin Tianhao in shock. How could you have such power? Lin Hu covered his chest, his voice trembling. The other followers were also stunned. Why did the waste that was still bullying the negative suddenly become so fierce? Lin Tianhao walked over slowly, his body was filled with lightning, and his atmosphere was so strong. He looked down at Lin Hu on the ground and sneered, "What, isn't it so ugly? Now let's try again and see who is the waste. You wait for me. I will definitely tell Chan Lao Lin that you will never be buried." Lin Hu gritted his teeth and climbed up with a few followers and ran away. Lin Tianhao finally felt a sigh of grief in his heart as they fled behind him. The humiliation I suffered over the years has been a little bit today. He clenched his fists, felt the thunder and electricity in his body, and a confident smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. From today on, he is no longer the bullied Wu Chai. Lin Tianhao wants everyone in the entire fairy world to know who is the real son of the fortune. The thunder clouds in the sky have not dissipated yet, and there is a new thunder and punishment in the hidden world. He raised his head and looked at it, and a raging desire arose in his eyes. Come on, my God! I can catch it as much as there are more thunders. Speaking, he walked towards the center of Lei Yun, without the storm that was about to arrive. Lin Tianhao strode towards the center of Layun, his footsteps getting faster and faster, and his lightning was flashing in the air. The Yun in the sky seemed to be angry by his pick, and the thunder sounded even more. Several purple lightnings tore through the sky, swaying straight down like an angry dragon. "Come on! I'll be with you today." Lin Tianhao raised his head and shouted, opening his hands, not avoiding at all, and forcibly welcomed the thunder of the heavenly tribulation. Ji. 3 lightnings struck his body, and several deep pits were blown out of the surrounding ground, gravel flying in a row, and smoke slamming. But when the smoke dissipated, Lin Tianhao still stood firm, and his thunder and electricity were scattered on his body, and his breath became stronger. "Ah, please feel good. Come again." He felt the spirit inside his body rushing wildly, and the power of thunder and punishment in his dantian was like a flood that opened, brushing every piece of veins. The cultivation of the 5 levels of energy begins to be relaxed, and there is a sign of breakthrough. At this moment, he finally understood his nature. As long as there is lightning and punishment, his strength will be infinitely rising. This feeling is simple and not too cool. Thunder Yun in the sky seemed to be very angry by his urgency, and the cloud layer was even more shattered. The lightning condensed into a purple thunder pillar as thick as a bucket, smashing it down with the atmosphere of destroying the sky and the earth. This time, the passers-by who were hiding from the distance and watching were all surprised to make their faces turn white. Is this kid crazy? Is this kind of thunder and punishment hard, and I'm not looking for death like this. But Lin Tianhao not only did not retreat, but his eyes ignited a more crazy fighting spirit. He stomped his feet suddenly, and the gravel on the ground was shaken. Then he sealed his hands, and the power of thunder in his body instantly condensed on the fist. "Break it for me!" He roared angrily and punched the thunder pillar. The fist collided with the lightning, and a dazzling light burst out. The impact wave directly overturned the ground of more than 10 meters around, and the air seemed to have been torn apart. Crack! The thunder pillar was actually broken by his punch, turning into countless small lightning arcs, all of which were sucked into his body. His cultivation was as high as a water-sky boat, and he directly broke through the bottle of 5 layers of air and stepped into the 6 layers of air. Is this still a human? The hot man from afar was stunned, his mouth was so slapped that he could stuff a chicken egg. Not to mention that they can withstand the thunder of heavenly tribulation, they can still rely on this breakthrough to cultivate. They have never heard of this. Lin Tianhao took a deep breath, felt the explosive power in his body, and a proud smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. He looked down at his fist and murmured, "It turns out that this is the power of a son of natural aura. From now on, who dares to call me a waste, so I will make him kneel down and shout." The thunder clouds on the sky finally began to dissipate, as if the heavenly Tao had no choice but to take this monster. Lin Tianhao patted the dust on his body and turned around and prepared to leave the ruins. But at this moment, a cold voice suddenly came from behind. "Hey, boy, your body is quite interesting." Lin Tianhao suddenly turned around and saw a woman in a purple dress standing far away, with a thick and pride and arrogance between her eyebrows and eyes. Her cultivation is unpredictable, and just standing there makes people feel an invisible pressure. "Who are you? Is there anything wrong?" Lin Tianhao glanced at the brow. Although the other party seemed not simple, he was not afraid of things now. The woman smiled lightly and walked closer. Her voice sounded like a clear spring. "Don't be nervous. My name is Ziyue, and I come from Zhixiao Immortal Palace. I just saw your performance. I can withstand the thunder of heavenly tribulation and turn the thunder power into my own use. This ability is said to be a non-existent experience in every year." Lin Tianhao raised his eyebrows and did not answer, but just looked at her vigilantly. In the vast land of the fairy world, there are too many people laughing at the sword. Who knows whether this woman is sincere or false? Ziyu didn't say anything and didn't care. She continued, "I don't mean to look for you, I just wanted to cooperate with you. Your body is very special, but it is also easy to cause marijuana troubles. For example, a different guy like the Xuanming ancestor. Ancestor Xuanming? Lin Tianhao was shocked. He had heard this name. One of the top tycoons in the fairy world, he was told that even the head of the fairy gate masters should lower his head, be cruel in his methods, and kill people without blinking. Yes. Ziyu pointed a little, and her eyes became serious. Ancestor Xuanming has been secretly collecting information about the Son of Natural Aura. As far as I know, he has a secret method that can seize other people's aura for himself. Your physical quality is simply the fat in his eyes. Once he is targeted, don't say that you can't escape even if you practice this point now. Lin Tianhao felt his heart sank, and his fists were clenched unconsciously. Exorbitant? This old thing is really poisonous. But he still dressed up on the surface and didn't care, and sneered, he wants to come and swear. Are you still afraid that he won't do it? Ziyu shook her head and said helplessly, young people, don't be too crazy. The methods of the ancestor Xuanming are not something you can imagine. He has a lot of lackeys in the Golden Dan stage, and he can crush you if he sends you. But if you are willing to cooperate with me, I can help you overcome the crisis in front of you. Cooperation? What is the cooperation method? Lin Tianhao narrowed his eyes, still not completely relieved of this woman's purpose. Ziyu smiled, took out a piece of purple jade from her sleeve, and sent it to him. This is a thunder-quenching technique. It is specially used to quench the power of thunder and harsh thunder. It can make your physical potential extremely powerful. I can teach you for free, and provide some resources to help you quickly improve your cultivation. But for exchange, you have to answer me and help me complete one thing in 3 years. What's the matter? Lin Tianhao took the jade penis and glanced at it. He realized that the technique was not simple, and he felt a little nervous. I'll tell you later. Ziyu sold a secret son, then turned around and heard a sound coming in a slight way. Please think hard, I'll wait for you in Xixiao Peak in 3 days. If you don't come, then forget it, but the matter of Xuanming ancestor, you can think about it yourself. After speaking, her figure turned into a purple light and disappeared into the sky in an instant. Lin Tianhao looked at the jade in his hand and his eyebrows were tightly locked. This woman has an unclear future, but she doesn't say it like a fool. This incident of the ancestor Xuanming really gave him some pressure. However, no matter what kind of ancestor he is not an ancestor, the most important thing to be tight now is to improve his strength. Thinking of this, he sat down on his knees and began to understand the thunder-quenching style. The content in the jade simplicity turned into information flowing into the brain, giving him a new understanding of the use of the power of thunder and punishment. He closed his eyes, and the lightning in his body flowed, and his body became more harsh by the thunder power, and his cultivation was improved in a steady step. After 3 days, Lin Tianhao's cultivation level was directly poured into the 7th level of the air, and his combat power increased several times. He stood up, moved his muscles and bones, and felt that his whole body was full of strength, and he could even punch a small hill. That woman Ziyu said it right. This technique is indeed awesome. However, I have to think about cooperation. He said to himself, deciding to go to Xixiao Peak to explore the situation first. But before he could move, a laugh suddenly came from afar. Haha, Lin Tianhao, you are really not dead in this waste. I thought that thunder broke you into pieces. Lin Tianhao turned around and saw that his face turned cold. The people who came were several of the Lin family's privileged children. The one who brought them was Lin Fu, the eldest and older brother of the Lin family. With a 9-level cultivation level, he looked down on Lin Tianhao the most, and the number of times he bullied him was even more unclear. There were also a few doglegs, one full of face laughing at him. Lin Qi, are you looking for death? Lin Tianhao looked at him coldly, his language was already filled with murder. Yeah, how dare you be stubborn? Lin Qi laughed, full of disdain. I heard that you were not dead after being struck by lightning. I am very happy. But today I am in a bad mood. When I see you, I am angry. Brothers, let me wipe him out. With a command, several followers, Lima, were rushed up, and his spirit exploded and he was overwhelmed. Lin Tianhao snorted coldly, and the pressure didn't take these garbage seriously. He stepped on his feet, and the lightning burst out on his body, so fast that his naked eyes could not see clearly, and he rushed into the crowd. Bang! 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 With a few sounds, the followers who came up were all punched and lying on the ground vomiting blood, and they couldn't even get up. Why are you so strong? Lin Chi was stunned, and the blink of an eye on his face became shocked in an instant. He clearly remembered that Lin Tianhao was a waste of 3 layers of energy, but why did he not see it for several days? All the followers of 8 layers of energy were knocked down by him? Is it strong or not? You'll know if you come and try it. Lin Tianhao grinned and walked towards Lin Xian. Every step seemed to be stepping on his heart, making him sweat. Don't come. My father is an old man. If you dare to move me, he will definitely not let you go. Lin Chi shouted in a slight manner, keeping his pace backwards. Oh? Is the eldest elder very awesome? Then I will move you first today, see what he can do to me. Lin Tianhao sneered, slapped his palm, and a lightning light directly threw out, sucking Lin's face hard. Bang! A crisp sound spread all around. Lin Hui was plucked, half of his face was as tiny as a pig's head, his teeth fell a few times, and the wolf fell to the ground. Everyone around was stunned. Is this still the waste that was swept out by the Lin family? How could it be so fierce that even the children of Lin Chi dared to hit everyone on the face? You wait for me. I will definitely let my father kill you. Lin Chi covered his face, slapped the next sentence, and ran away with a rush. Lin Tianhao looked at his back and sneered, Run, wait for your father to come, I will beat you up as if you want. He clapped his hands and turned around and prepared to leave, but at this moment, a cold murder suddenly came from afar, making his hair grow up. Who? Lin Tianhao turned his head suddenly, only seeing a black shadow flashing across the sky, and then a low voice flashed in his ears. Boy, your aura, I'm going to make a reservation. Lin Tianhao felt nervous, and the cold sound seemed to be coming from the 9 netherworld, carrying a creepy chill. He raised his head suddenly, his eyes swept around, and he didn't see anything. Only the cloud layer in the sky rolled over, and there was a sense of ominous breath. Put it out and let me come out. He shouted angrily, and the power of thunder in his body exploded instantly, and the lightning light on his body was ready to welcome the battle at any time. But the sound dissipated like a wind, as if everything was just his mistake. Humph, I dare to scare me. When I catch you, I will beat you up and look for your teeth. Lin Tianhao gritted his teeth. Although he was hard on his lips, he felt a little more alert in his heart. That killing was so real that it was absolutely impossible for ordinary characters to produce. Boy, don't be too crazy. That breath is not simple just now. An old voice suddenly ejaculated in his brain. Lin Tianhao was stunned and immediately responded. This was the voice of Thunder Venerable. A few days ago, while he was practicing hard at Leiyun Center, this unknown master took the initiative to appear, saying that he was attracted by his body and was willing to point him in a few tricks. Honor, do you always feel it? What's that thing? If I don't guess wrong, I should be the subordinate of the ancestor Xuanming, or his spiritual thoughts. The voice of the Thunder Master was solemn. This old man is really eyeing you. Your son's body is a big confusion to him. It's probably not long before he will take action. You are going to take action? Lin Tianhao's eyebrows snaked, his fists clenched even tighter. Is that old thing strong? Strong? Not only strong. Ancestor Xuanming is a powerful man in the late stage of Baby Yuan. He can knock down an immortal gate with his hand. If you practice at this point, you will be even worse than a little bit in front of him. The Thunder Master ruthlessly swept cold water, but don't panic, you have the energy to support yourself, and I am pointing around. As long as you practice well, you may not be able to fight. Lin Tianhao gritted his teeth, and a fire of dissatisfaction arose in his heart. Okay, then come. No matter whether he is Baby Yuan or something, I'm going to step on him under my feet. Ha, I have ambition. The Thunder Master laughed and turned his breath in the real word. But now you have to improve your strength first. The heavenly tribulation thunder is your biggest weapon. While the thunder cloud has not completely dissipated, you will attract a few thunders to temper your body and spirit. Lin Tianhao clicked the head and looked up. There was indeed a thunder cloud in the sky, with lightning flashes hidden. He didn't say anything, and stepped down his foot and rushed towards the center of thunder cloud like an electric shock. Rumor. Lin seemed to feel his arrival, and instantly turned around. A purple lightning that was thicker than before slashed down, as if the heaven was angry, trying to crush the picker. Good come. Lin Tianhao refused to retreat and turned around. He sealed his hands with both hands. The thunder-quenching movement was extremely fierce. The power of thunder in his body rushed wildly and rushed towards the lightning. Room. The lightning hit him hard, bursting out a dazzling light. The surrounding rocks were shattered, and a huge deep pit was blown out of the ground. But Lin Tianhao gritted his teeth and withstood the blow. His body was irritated and his muscles seemed to be overwhelmed by thousands of wounds, making him even more impoverished. Come again. He roared, his eyes filled with war, as if he had no idea what fear was. Lei Yun in the sky seemed to be irritated by him, and he was struck by several lightning lights, each of which was even more powerful than before, and the air was burned. Bang! 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 The lightning light came one after another, and Lin Tianhao carried 5 waves, and the spirit inside his body burst violently, and his cultivation directly moved from the 7th level of the air to the 8th level of the air. His body was also greatly tempered, and he could hit the thunderous storm with one punch. Ha, it's great! God, are you so capable? Lin Tianhao wiped the sweat from his face, raised his head and laughed. His vigor was so crazy. The cultivators who had passed by several times were stunned. Who had anyone played the heavenly tribulation thunder as a toy? This kid is simply not a human. The voice of Thunder Master rising again at this time, with a sense of relief. No, your body is indeed against the sky. It has only been a few days since you have reached the 8th level of energy. The war is probably going to be head-on with the early stage of the Qingji. But don't be too proud, the subordinates of the ancestor Xuanming are not vegetarians. You have to seize the time to break through again. Lin Tianhao clicked his head and prepared to find a place to close it, and then stabilize it and repair it. But before he could move, a sudden burst of shattering sound suddenly came from all around him, and then several black shadows fell from the sky, directly surrounding him in the middle. Lin Tianhao, I've found you. A man in black robe grinned, showing his yellow teeth, his eyes full of greed and murder. There are 4 companions behind him, each of whom is emitting the breath of the basic stage, which is obviously not easy to mess with. Lin Tianhao narrowed his eyes and glanced at them coldly. Who are you? From the Xuanming ancestor sect? Ha, you're smart. The man in black clapped his hands, his temperament filled with mockery. We are the 5 ghosts under the seat of the ancestor Xuanming, and we are here to take your life. The ancestor said, your son of the air is of good quality, and he dug it out and gave it to him in a big way. 5 ghosts? It's quite intimidating. Actually, they are just a few dogs. Lin Tianhao sneered, not taking them seriously. Although these 5 people are in the prime period, he is full of confidence after breaking through and is eager to find a few tough guys to try. A stubborn boy, you won't even cry when you cry. The man in black robe looked dark, and he raised his hand and waved it. 4 companions behind him stood up and moved. 5 black air turned into chains and slapped directly towards Lin Tianhao, with a shocking speed. A little trick to carve the horn. Lin Tianhao stepped down and his figure disappeared from the spot in an instant. The lightning flashed and appeared directly behind a man in black robe. The force of thunder exploded on his fist, and he smashed his punch hard on the other party's back. Bang! The man in black robe had no time to make a scream. He was swept away and smashed into the mountain walls that were not far away, spitting blood in his mouth, and fainted. What? The other 4 people's faces changed drastically. They never expected that a kid in his infancy could have such terrifying speed and power. The man in black robe shrank his pupils and shouted, "Go together, don't give him a chance to breathe." For black air burst out again, turning into ghosts all over the sky, pressing towards Lin Tianhao, and the air around it became extremely cold, as if it had fallen into the ground. Lin Tianhao felt a tight heart and felt a pressure. These partners were indeed not a good person. It might not be possible to rely on hard work. Boy, don't fight hard. Use thunder-tempered body-tempered thunder to attack their weaknesses. The voice of Thunder Master rose in time and gave him a reminder. Lin Tianhao's eyes lit up, and he set his hands on his seal. The power of thunder and impulse in his body gathered wildly on his right fist, and then he suddenly punched out, breaking the thunder and blowing it to me. Right. A thick lightning burst out from the fist, as if the thunder dragon was born, directly tore the dark air in the sky and hit the two men in black robe. The two of them were caught off guard and were directly penetrated by lightning. They shouted and flew backwards, not knowing life and death. How is this possible? The remaining two men in black robe were so scared that their legs were soft. The joint attacks in the GG period were broken by this kid. Is this still a storm? Just a monster. Run. The man in black robe finally realized that he was not right, so he turned around and wanted to escape, but Lin Tianhao didn't give him any chance. He flashed his head and caught up with him like a ghost. He raised his hand and threw out a lightning light. Bang! The lightning hit the back of the other party. The man in black robe was so shocked that his whole body was twitching and fell to the ground, without even the strength to get up. He looked at Lin Tianhao in shock, his voice trembling. Who are you? How could it be so strong in the period of time? Who is I? I am a naturally born with aura. I will take care of your garbage. Lin Tianhao snorted coldly, leaned over to look at him, his eyes full of murderous thoughts. Say, who is Xuanming sent? Where is he? The man in black robe bit his teeth and kept his mouth shut, but Lin Tianhao had no patience to waste his time with him. He raised his hand in another lightning strike, which made the other party rush over and finally couldn't bear it anymore. He kept saying, Ancestor. The ancestor is in the Black Ghost Valley. He already knows your existence, and soon, he will take action on his own. Black Nether Valley? Lin Tianhao's eyebrows were abruptly, and he remembered the place name, and then he sneered, okay, then I'll wait for him to come. But for you, it's a pity to stay. I'll send you on the way first. Don't kill me. I can. Before the man in the black robe finished speaking, Lin Tianhao punched him and the lightning burst out, directly turning the other party into coke. In the end, the man in black robe saw this and was so scared that he crawled and ran away, but Lin Tianhao didn't chase him at all. He threw a lightning light over and easily solved it. The 5 ghosts? But that's the case. Lin Tianhao clapped his hands, looked at the earth's mess, and a cold light ignited in his eyes. Although he won this battle beautifully, he knew in his heart that since the ancestor Xuanming could send his subordinates from the GG stage, there would definitely be a harder one in the future. Boy, you're doing it well, but don't be careless. The voice of Thunder Master Rising sounded again. The ancestor Xuanming is not a fool to play. You have to seize the time and attack the 9 levels of the air, or even the base stage. Otherwise, the next time will not be so good. Lin Tianhao pointed his head, took a deep breath, and prepared to find a place to close it. But at this moment, a deep sound of birds suddenly came from the sky. Then a black beam of light rose into the sky, and countless sounds of ghosts and wolves howling came, as if some kind of big shot was activated. This is... Lin Tianhao's heart was thrilled, and he had a bad premonition. No, it's the great ghost of the ancestor Xuanming. The voice of the Thunder Master suddenly became rapid. This old guy really can't sit still. He is planning the situation in advance and is preparing to directly block this area and force you out. Lin Tianhao's face changed. When he looked up, he found that the sky around him was getting darker, and the darkness from the distance was coming like a tide, with countless ghosts slamming in it, urging people. I can't run away, boy, be ready to face the real challenge. The voice of Thunder Master was helpless, and then he remained silent. Lin Tianhao bit his teeth tightly, his fists clenched and he was clamoring. There was no fear in his eyes, but instead he was igniting a fierce fighting spirit. He knew that this time it was probably a line of life and death, but no matter what kind of big things he was or what ancestor he would kill one of them, and he would kill one of them. Ancestor Xuanming, I'm here. If you have the ability, come. He raised his head and roared, his voice like thunder, which made the dark air around him look like a slightest. Lin Tianhao roared angrily, his voice sounded like thunder, which made the dark air around him look like a slightest. His body was filled with lightning, and his roar was boiling, as if he didn't take the air and ghosts all over the sky at all. The black light column in the direction of the Black Nether Valley became increasingly popular, and countless sounds of ghosts and wolves cried and howled across the world, and a suffocating feeling of pressure was filled with the air. Boy, don't be too stimulating. The great ghost ancestor Xuanming is not something you can do. The voice of Thunder Master burst into tears in his brain, bringing a hint of anxiety. This method can block the space, and can also summon thousands of ghosts to eat souls. If you are hard now, you will most likely be able to fall. Crazy? There is no such word in my dictionary. Lin Tianhao gritted his teeth and sneered, clenched his fists tightly, and the power of thunder in his body rushed wildly. Don't you want to make me angry? Then I'll let him see today, who is the real son of Qi. As the voice fell, a deep smile suddenly came from the sky, as if it was coming from the depths of the earth, making people's bones cold. A black shadow appeared in the light column, wearing a black robe, and a mist was covered with a mask on his face, and he couldn't see his true appearance clearly, but the palpitations directly locked Lin Tianhao. Lin Tianhao, I have been waiting for you for a long time. The black shadow's voice was low and sandy, like a knife slashing a stone. A son born with aura is indeed unfair. If you can grow from a waste to this point in just a few days, you will have to sell your body. Ancestor Xuanming? Lin Tianhao narrowed his eyes and a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. Will the cramped urinate with his head exposed and his tail dare to come and snatch my things? If you have the ability, come out. Let's choose one. Single choice? Ha ha, boy, you're really going to laugh. The laughter of the ancestor Xuanming became even more rampant. After a wave of his hand, the black gas around him instantly condensed into dozens of huge ghosts, each with the breath of the late stage of the Gigi, and roared towards Lin Tianhao. I don't need to take action automatically. These gadgets will deal with you. Hand over your gas, or maybe I can still keep you a whole body. Keep me all over? Old man, do you think about how you die first? Lin Tianhao shouted angrily, stepped down his foot, and his body rushed out like an electric shock. The thunder-quenching body was extremely moving. The lightning light burst out on the fist, and he punched directly towards the ghost in front. Bang! The lightning collided fiercely with the black air, and the ghost made a slight scream, which was instantly dispersed, turning into a group of black smoke and dissipated. Lin Tianhao didn't stop at all, and the thunder and electricity on his body was flowing wildly. His body was so fast that his naked eyes couldn't keep up. He punched it out several times, and several ghost shadows were shattered by him. Humph, boy, don't be too proud, this is the beginning. Xuanming's ancestor snorted coldly, and his palm flipped, and suddenly more ghosts appeared in the black light column, densely packed, almost covering the sky and the sun, as if nothing was left. At the same time, the space in the aura began to distort, and Lin Tianhao only felt that the pressure around him suddenly increased, and his movements became a little slow. This old guy, it's true that there's a little bit of a door. Lin Tianhao gritted his teeth and broke out in cold sweat on his head, but his wariness in his eyes was not reduced at all. He knew that this ghost was unable to break, and he had no way to get close to the ancestor Xuanming, so he must find a way to tear open the defense line of this ghost thing. Boy, use the thunder to attack with all your strength, don't be dragged by these ghosts. The voice of Thunder Lord resounded again, giving him a reminder. I understand. Lin Tianhao pointed his head, sealed his hands with both hands, and all the power of thunder and punishment in his body gathered on his right fist, then roared angrily, breaking the thunder and opening it to me. Room! A thick lightning burst out from the fist, like a roar of a thunder dragon, directly tearing apart the black air and ghost shadow in front of it, and forcibly creating a passage in the air technique. Lin Tianhao didn't say anything, and as soon as he flashed his body, he rushed over and pointed directly into the direction of the black light column. Looking for death. The ancestor Xuanming saw that he dared to take the initiative to attack. There was anger in his voice. He slapped his palm suddenly, and a huge black hand suddenly burst out from the light column, which was 100 feet in size. He carried the air of destroying the sky and the earth and slapped Lin Tianhao hard. Good come. Lin Tianhao refused to retreat and turned into a crazy fighting spirit in his eyes. The power of thunder in his body exploded again, and his two fists came out, and he smashed it up against the black hand. Room! Lei Guan collided with the black hand fiercely, and a deafening sound exploded, and the space around him was twisted. Lin Tianhao only felt a huge force coming, and the whole person was shrunk by 10 steps, and a silk of blood came out of the corner of his mouth, but the black hand was also shattered by him, turning into countless black air and dissipating. Ha! Ancestor Xuanming, are you so capable? Come again. Lin Tianhao wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and grinned. His breath became even stronger, as if he didn't know what fear was. A boy who doesn't know how to live or die. Old ancestor Xuanming smiled angrily, with a slight murder in his voice. I originally wanted to save your life and slowly draw your energy. Since you are so anxious to die, I will help you. Speaking, his figure finally stepped out of the black light column, revealing his true face. It was an old and slim face, with deep eyes, and a rage in his eyes, like a ghost crawling out of the ground. He raised his hand, and the entire ghost's aura stormed and countless ghost shadows roared and gathered into a huge ghost claw, the size of a mountain, and grabbed Lin Tianhao with the might of crushing everything. It's so troublesome, kid, this blow is at least as powerful as the early stage of Baby Yuan, you can't take it. The voice of Thunder Master was filled with anxiety. Get back quickly, find a chance to fight back. Retreat? I will never retreat. Lin Tianhao gritted his teeth and saw a flash of determination in his eyes. He knew that if this battle retreated, his atmosphere would be weaker and he would only be hit by this old guy in the future. Since that's the case, let's fight. Heavenly tribulation, come. I will be with you today. He suddenly raised his head and roared, and his hands opened, and the power of the Son of Internal Air was urged to the extreme. At this moment, a deep bird suddenly appeared in the sky, and the lightning flashed, and it was the heavenly tribulation that was forced to lead him. Rumor. A purple lightning as thick as a bucket fell from the sky and slashed straight on Lin Tianhao. The ghosts around were shattered by the lightning, and even the huge ghost claws were forced to take a step back. The pupils of the ancestor Xuanming shrank, and it was obvious that this kid could lead to the heavenly tribulation at this time. Ah, please feel free. Lin Tianhao took the lightning down, and his spirit inside his body was violently rising. In order to directly push from the 8-level energy level to the 9-level energy level, his combat power increased a lot. His whole body was covered in thunder and electricity, as if Thunder God had come to the world, and his aura was so strong that people dared not look directly at it. Come again. He roared angrily, and the thunder cloud in the sky seemed to be angry by his pick, and was struck by several lightning lights, each of which was even more fierce than before. Lin Tianhao gritted his teeth and held it hard, and his body became even more impulsive by thunder. His spirit ran through the veins like a flood. He practiced as the bottleneck to move again, and he actually had the sign of striking the foundation stage. This kid is crazy. Can he resist the thunder of heavenly tribulation? How can he become stronger the more he fights? The face of the ancestor Xuanming finally changed, and there was a flash of suspicion in his eyes. He has lived for thousands of years and has never seen anyone eat the heavenly tribulation as a medicine. Lin Tianhao is simply a monster. Old guy, what's your stupidity? Look at the fist. Lin Tianhao grabbed the opportunity, flashed his body, and rushed towards the ancestor Xuanming with lightning light. All the thunder power condensed on the fist and smashed it out with one punch. Surprise! The punch was almost shocking, and the lightning burst out, as if it could tear the world apart, directly stalking on the ancestor Xuanming. The old guy was caught off guard and was beaten back, and his dark hair was shaken a lot, and his face was hard to see. "Boy, you're looking for death." Xuanming's ancestor was furious. He flipped his palm and a long black sword appeared in his hand, emitting a cold chill. He slashed out, and the breath turned into a black dragon, roaring towards Lin Tianhao. His breath was so terrifying that the world trembled. Lin Tianhao felt his heart tighten and felt that the power of this blow was far beyond the previous one, but he did not retreat at all. The power of thunder and impulse in his body gathered wildly, and his two fists came out, facing the black dragon. Room! The lightning collided with the black dragon, and a huge shock that exploded. The entire ghost's ambition was shaken. Lin Tianhao was shrunk by 10 steps, and blood stormed wildly at the corner of his mouth, but the black dragon was also shattered by him, turning into black air and dissipating. One punch. He gritted his teeth and roared, and while the ancestor Xuanming had not reacted, he punched him out again. This punch condensed all his strength, and the lightning was like a dragon, carrying the air of destroying the sky and the earth, pointing directly to the chest of the ancestor Xuanming. Not good. The old ancestor Xuanming's face changed drastically, and he finally realized that this kid's fighting power was completely beyond imagination. He hurriedly raised his hand to put down a black shield, but the lightning could not be suppressed, so he directly tore the shield apart and slammed it on him. Bang! With a loud bang, the entire ancestor Xuanming was swept and smashed into the black light column. The black robe was shattered, and black blood poured out of the corner of his mouth, and his breath instantly became mostly depressed. "Old thing, this is the next place you want to make me happy." Lin Tianhao gasped and stood there. Although the spirit inside his body was almost exhausted, his eyes were full of arrogance. He resisted the thunder of the heavenly tribulation, broke through the limit, and finally beat the boss of this Yuan baby stage to death. This sense of accomplishment is so simple and not too satisfying. Lin Tianhao, you remember this account. I will pay attention to you. The ancestor Xuanming gritted his teeth and said, and his voice was full of unwillingness, but he knew that he could no longer get a good deal today. As soon as he flashed, he turned into a black light and was about to escape. Want to run away? It's too late. Lin Tianhao sneered, raised his hand and slapped it. Finally, a lightning light shook out, as if locking the breath of the ancestor Xuanming, and hitting his back hard. Ah! The ancestor Xuanming let out a silence, and his body exploded in the air, turning into a group of black air and dissipated. At the same time, the great ghost also began to collapse, and the ghost shadows and dark air in the sky seemed to have lost support, and the smoke disappeared in an instant. Huh! I finally got it done. Lin Tianhao breathed a sigh of relief, and the feeling of fatigue in his body surged like a tide, but a sharp smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He looked down at his hands, felt the unprecedented power, and infinite pride ignited in his heart. Boy, you're fucking beautifully. You've gotten overwhelmed by old monsters like Xuanming. Who else can hold you in the vast land of the fairy world? The voice of Thunder Master was heard, bringing a sense of relief and surprise. Ha, the Venerable has won the prize. This old guy is just the beginning. Lin Tianhao grinned, then raised his head and looked at the sky, with a cold light flashing in his eyes. Those guys in the Lin family who look down on me, and those tall fairy bosses, I'm going to step on you under my feet. At this moment, a purple light flew from afar, and Fairy Ziyue appeared in front of him. She looked at the mess in Lin Tianhao's tired but impatient appearance, and there was a hint of shock in her eyes. Lin Tianhao, you actually did it. You killed the ancestor Xuanming? Fairy Ziyue's voice was filled with disbelief. It was obvious that he could do this. It's just a small matter. Lin Tianhao curled his lips and looked like he was not caring. Say, what was the thing you said at the beginning? I'm in a good mood now, and I might be able to help you. Ziyue smiled and slammed her head. Don't worry, you are now qualified to stand in the fairy world. The initial cooperation conditions are no longer important. I just hope that if you dominate the fairy world, You can remember my help today. Don't worry, I never owe anyone favors. Lin Tianhao pointed his head, turned around and walked away, with incomparable confidence in his voice. From today, no one in the vast world of the fairy world can hold me back. Who dares to provoke me, blow it with one punch. His figure drifted away, and the lightning was surging, and his atmosphere was like a rainbow. The clouds in the sky dissipated and the sunlight fell. The entire fairy world seemed to be shocked by this new generation of supreme. A few months later, Lin Tianhao's name spread throughout the entire fairy world. With his own strength, he crushed countless immortal doors, and even the Lin family was stepped on by him. All those who had ridiculed him were kneeling on the ground, trembling, and even he didn't dare to breathe. And he, standing in the turtle of the fairy world, overlooking all things, finally realized his original vow to become the supreme emperor of the fairy world and a domineering man. From now on,